Can we get this guy like some moderation over here?
Hey, soy boy, slow down a minute.
Francesca, are you eating? You're eating a cat at the moment. Is this?
He forced Americans to eat all of his word salad. The only pet that was harmed was Donald Trump as he was dog walked by Kamala Harris. The bait. I mean, and this is what to your actual question.
But it's 3 against 1. It's kind of hard.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitico Response, and I'm back, folks. I'm back in the studio again, and we're back from Baton Rouge. Good news, y'all. The little pup is doing really good. He's recovering. His jaw was broken. It was snapped. The bone was like this is his jaw looking from the top down. The back part was broken way off like this. He ended up losing 5 teeth, 5 whole teeth, 3 on this side, 3 at the top on this side, 1 at the bottom, and 1 over here that was already bad. It wasn't as a result of the attack, but it was already bad, so blah, blah, blah. He went ahead and pulled that one out and got rid of it, but he's recovering. He finally got to eat some food today. He hadn't eaten in 3 days. I was getting worried for the little guy, but he's doing good. He's up and moving around and roaming all over the place and sniffing stuff and barking at the door when people come to knock on the dang door, so he can bark again. Yeah, he was having trouble, y'all. But once again, it's Saturday, so let's get into the debate, man. We got another one coming up. So we got Piers Morgan. Normally, I mean, who else debates do I do? But so they're debating the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And y'all know my opinion on that. I don't think either one of them won. It was garbage. I mean, everybody keeps saying that Kamala Harris won, but the corporate press keeps saying Kamala Harris won. And then the internet saying Donald Trump won. Well, no, I'm sorry. Donald Trump, he did okay. It was a standard debate. He did falter a lot. She goaded him into getting aggravated and talking about this and talking about that, and he fell for it. While on the other side, she didn't propose any policy plans. She was just like this joy campaign, and we're going to work on the middle class, but did not give any policy positions on as to how she's going to do any of this. Trump didn't do that either. But once again, like I said the other day when I talked about this debate, yeah, we know what Trump can do, and we know what the Biden-Harris administration has been doing. So, yeah, we don't want another 4 years of the last 4 years. We want something new. But these people, they can't argue on policy positions, and you're going to see that coming up. They have to lie about Donald Trump.
The debate, the most consequential, important question ever she couldn't answer. Stevie Wonder can see it was a 3-on-1. They literally fact-checked everything and had prepared fact checks for him. Didn't fact-check nothing, and she lied 1,000 times. This woman completely lied about Charlottesville. That's been already debunked.
Amen.
Think about this.
What was debunked about Charlottesville?
6th. They brought up January 6th. Can you be quiet, please, for just 1 second?
And this is a big problem with the corporate press and their hoax narrative that they're constantly putting out there, right? They do this on purpose. Kamala Harris knows. Like Joe Biden brought this up too. They know this has been debunked. That's not what he meant. But they say it anyway. They say it anyway for the people that don't know, for the people that don't pay attention that much to politics. And they just heard, oh, well, Donald Trump said, neo-Nazis and these white supremacists over here are good people, because there's good people on both sides. But they don't know the full quote because the corporate press just ran this narrative that Donald Trump said all these people were good, the neo-Nazis and the other people, the protesters in Charlottesville. It's garbage. He condemned totally the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists, but he said, but there's good people on both sides, which is the truth. But the corporate press, they have to put out this narrative, once again, banking on the fact that nobody's going to know that this has been debunked. They're just going to be like, oh, well, Trump's being racist again, and they've got to do this. And we're going to see that in this next segment.
Harry, just on that point about how disingenuous Kamala Harris was being at the same time as Trump was, this whole thing about bloodbath, for example, everyone who's seen the full quote knows that Trump was talking about a bloodbath in the motor industry related to China. The idea that she then turned this into, last night, a genuine bloodbath involving people shedding blood is obviously a disingenuous spin on it, if not a blatant lie. You know that, right?
Piers, I mean, let's not act as if that's not true about Donald Trump. That if he loses,
hang on,
wait, hold on now. Wait.
Harry,
we saw what happened on January 6th. There was bloodshed as a result of Donald Trump denying elections. Are you saying that this is out of the realm of possibility here?
Don't keep talking. On that one point, do you concede that Kamala Harris deliberately misused that quote to imply a genuine bloodbath when in fact he was talking about a bloodbath in the motor industry? Do you accept that?
What Donald Trump does very deliberately
Don't distract.
Don't
distract.
I'm answering. Hold on now.
Let him
what Donald
speak.
Trump does very deliberately is use these words in certain contexts to kind of signal to his base. It happened on January 6th, and it continues to happen today when he's saying, yeah, I'm going to arrest all the cheaters in 2020, when he's trying to use that as a guise, as a lie to try to go after his political opponents. So to Pierce, to be like, oh, well, Kamala Harris misquoted him, just look at Donald Trump's record and what he's done with things surrounding January 6th, and then you can see what Kamala Harris is talking about.
All right, hang on, guys. Let me do this. So in other words, Harry, just to be clear, it doesn't matter if she was lying in that case because there are other times when he deserved it.
No, she's not lying. What she's talking about is Donald Trump deliberately using these very specific words. Well, he uses these very specific words to rile up his base. He does this all of the time.
Well, it was a genuine. It was a genuine whopper. But let me hang on. Don't us all over each other. I will come to all of you. Don't worry.
And that's what they do. That's the only line of attack they have on Donald Trump. Sure, you could go after some numbers. Yeah, he spent a lot of money in his administration. But Donald Trump is who he is. And he is very forward talking, right? Like he gets out there and he says a bunch of stuff. So they take the little bits and pieces of what he says and they'll twist it around and they'll make it a hoax. They'll make it a bad thing. They do this constantly. These people know that they're lying. They're outright lying. They refuse to concede that point because that's the only line of attack they have. Once again, like I said, they could go in on some of this other garbage, some of the stuff that we don't like that Trump did because we don't like a lot of the people that he hired. We don't like that he spent lots of money, added $7 trillion to the national debt. Sure, those are all bad things, right? Increasing drone strikes, those are all bad things. But once again, his presidency was a net positive. We've been seeing nothing but net negative with Kamala Harris. And I'm not liking all this garbage. These people, the corporate press is propagating this stuff, right? Like they're constantly saying, "Oh, Donald Trump's so divisive. All he does is rile up his base and all this other stuff." No, that's the corporate press lying about everything that riles up his base. It's not Donald Trump, right? Like it's not January 6th. January 6th, sure. The people that fought with cops, once again, I've said it 1,000 times. Yeah, those people deserved to go to jail. You don't go in and fight with cops. But they're trying to portray this like Donald Trump sicked his base on the federal government to overthrow the government. That's one of the most ridiculous notions I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, where's the logic on that? It makes absolutely no sense that maybe 200 people that were fighting with cops can overthrow the United States government. What? That's insane to think that, but that's what they got to do. That's what they got to go with. They propagate the lies to get the people that don't know any better, that don't know and kind of don't care, or just looking at politics, okay, who am I going to vote for? And they see all this garbage going back and forth. And then you got the people on the left like, oh, well, Donald Trump's a divisive figure. And they see Donald Trump and he's bombastic and he's out there. And so they believe it. And they don't know any better. They don't know the truth. And so that's all they got is lies. And when you build your house based upon lies, eventually that's all going to come crashing right down.
Harry, on the bigger picture, there's no doubt to me it was a very good night for Kamala Harris. No doubt to me that the endorsement for Taylor Swift was also a very big tick in the box for her, given just how many millions of young women love Taylor Swift. But if there's another debate, are you concerned that you'll see a very different Trump and that Kamala Harris will have to be adaptable to that if it comes?
Piers, we've seen the same Donald Trump for like 8 years now. There's not been a single debate of which he's composed and focused. He took the bait every single time last night.
Well, the last debate, he ended Joe Biden.
Can you be quiet for 5 seconds?
Well, hang on. Don't observe each other.
Wait, hold on.
Harry,
hold on,
the last
everybody.
debate,
Relax,
to be clear, the last debate, he ended Joe Biden's career.
Are you saying that Donald Trump's performance in the last debate was good?
I'm saying it was good enough to end Joe Biden's career, yes.
Joe Biden's brain
I'm
ended
sorry.
Don't
Joe
talk
Biden's
over each
career,
other.
you guys.
Let Harry answer first.
Pierce, I love him. No, Donald
Well, you
Trump's
told me Joe
performance last
Biden was going to
debate
win, so we've had that conversation.
Well, I mean, there was a different political environment.
gonna
right?
win now,
Things
Harry.
evolve over time. Hey, things evolve over time. Last time he ran against Donald Trump, he beat him by 7 million votes. So we're still 1-0 against Donald Trump. But look, Donald Trump's performance his last debate performance was terrible. He didn't talk about policy. He also took the bait then. He defended January 6th last debate as he did last night. Yes, he did. He continues to talk about pardoning January 6th insurrectionists, calling them patriots. Are you kidding me? The people who assaulted police officers are patriots?
All right,
so,
Ben,
Pierce, we are going to see the same Donald Trump. Wait. We are going to see the same Donald Trump in the next debate, if there is one, because he is scared.
Okay, so here we go again. Yes, Donald Trump smashed Joe Biden, but it wasn't necessarily that Donald Trump just had this amazing performance. Donald Trump performed normally. Joe Biden was, what we know, halfway dead, right? His brain is gone. He can't speak. He can't walk. He can't do anything. He can't run the country. Not sure why he's there. But to say that Donald Trump didn't do a good job in that debate, didn't completely obliterate Joe Biden, which is not a very high bar, by the way, but even still, Donald Trump's performance was just as good as any other Donald Trump performance. But once again, they have to resort back to lies. Once again, going in on the January 6th stuff. Like this is totally garbage. We've heard him several times talk about the political prisoners and what he's talking about. He's not talking about the insurrectionists, right? Like, I keep having to break this point down because people keep lying about it, so I'm going to keep spitting the truth about it. Right? The people that weren't violent, that were peaceful protesters, that's who Trump wants to pardon. That's who Trump says are political prisoners, because they are. The DOJ has been weaponized against Donald Trump supporters specifically, and Donald Trump. And to deny that is to deny reality. This is not how reality is breaking down. They have definitely gone in. Just read through the indictments. Research of what actually happened behind those indictments, and you will see the political weaponization. Once again, I've done that, and I was shocked at all this, right? I was looking into this like I needed to know for myself, because I was behind Donald Trump in 2020. And to see all of this go down, I bought into the corporate press narrative. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I got behind this guy. I didn't know he was that bad behind the scenes. But once I looked into everything, once again, I was like, holy crap, they really have weaponized the Department of Justice against these people. It's insane. I would employ everybody to get out there and go do your own research and look this stuff up. It's amazing.
Actually, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris kept a lot of those tariffs that Trump introduced. So if they didn't like them, why didn't they get rid of them? Harry, let me bring Harry in. You've been waiting reasonably patiently, albeit not even responding to the soy jibe, which I was astonished by.
Don't worry, I'll get there.
Overall, Harry, though, look, you put all your cards on Joe Biden. That blew up in smoke. You're putting all your cards now on Kamala Harris. How worried are you that we got 54 days to go, or 52 days now, that she may not be able to get over the finishing line, that this debate may turn out to be an outlier?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Two things. The gentleman in the blue suit was crying about being interrupted while simultaneously interrupting people. He also wanted to go after Kamala Harris for being a flip-flopper. Donald Trump, oh, look, he's doing it again. He's doing it again right now. Donald Trump the other day said he was voting for the... Can you be quiet? Can you be quiet for 5 seconds? Donald Trump the other day said that he was voting against the Florida ballot abortion initiative. Then the next day he flipped his position. You want to talk about flip-flopper? Let's talk about that. Now, Brandon on the end says the Biden administration hasn't done anything. I'm sorry, Brandon. Do you think that 1.2 million people, veterans, having access to more healthcare than they did before is not doing something? You do not think the largest investment in infrastructure since Eisenhower is not doing something? Do you think that capping insulin at $35 a month is not doing something? Do you think capping out-of-pocket expenses for seniors at $2,000 a year, starting in 25, not doing anything? I'm sorry. Are all of these things that help people not doing anything? Now, look at these. Look at these triggered guys over here. They're the real Spears. We're looking at the real snowflakes over here.
You just talked
Piers,
about
we're looking at the
building
real
back America.
snowflakes over
You
here.
guys
We're looking at the real snowflakes over here.
$400 million
It's terrible.
on charging stations and built 3 of them
Stop
in
being
3
such a
years.
snowflake. Stop being such a
crap.
snowflake. Don't be triggered.
The reality
Oh,
is
I'm
that
sorry.
I don't like
Wait,
people
$350 billion. $350 billion with a B in 5 years on new roads and bridges around the country. You can go to whitehouse.gov right now and see a map of. I'm telling you. Hey, listen up. I'm telling you. You can go to whitehouse.gov right now and look a map of the United States of all the different active projects right now in states all around the country. Thank you, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, for investing in America and bringing manufacturing back to America. 800,000 jobs, ladies and gents.
Listen.
Now, can I answer Pierce?
Donald Trump.
Now, can you guys stop being triggered snowflakes so I can answer Pierce's question? Please,
If this was true,
just take a breather, gentlemen. It's okay.
If this was
Pierce,
true,
I just think men
Donald
are too
Trump wouldn't even be
emotional. I think
close
men
to
are
the
too
debate.
emotional
when
and
the
they can't
person-
lead.
when the
I think they just
person
can't
who's calm-
lead, Pierce. I think they're too
Wait a minute.
emotional.
Time out. When the person who's calmest is the woman who was eating her cat earlier, I know I've lost control of my panel.
This is something that aggravates me to no end about these people. They're constantly trying to attribute stuff that Congress does, work that the Senate does, all this legislation, the Inflation Reduction Act. Joe Biden didn't write that up. His staffers didn't write that up. That was written up by senators and congressmen, right? Those people passed that legislation. All he does is sign that right into law, and then they attribute that to his administration. No, I'm sorry. And infrastructure, like they're going to attribute infrastructure. That's the only accomplishments that Joe Biden has is infrastructure. And he can say, oh, he capped insulin at blah, 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 which was started under Donald Trump and continued under Joe Biden. Joe Biden just happened to put that across the finish line. That's it. That was started under Donald Trump, by the way, and he does like to take credit for that. But he can't take all the credit. That was both Joe Biden and Donald Trump both did that, right? Like, this is something I can't stand. They constantly like, oh, well, Trump didn't do any legislating. He's not a legislator. He's supposed to run the federal government and conduct foreign policy, and that's it. Right? That's all the president is supposed to do. The president is not a legislator. All they do is sign these things into law, legislation that's already made up. But if you look at what Joe Biden is actually responsible for, running the federal government, yeah, we have some issues there, right? The weaponization of the federal government that I just talked about, so I'm not going to get much into that. As a matter of fact, the weaponization against people themselves, violating the First Amendment with the White House, the FBI, and all these agencies, the CDC, the NIC, sorry. All of them silencing voices on social media, quote unquote, combating mis and disinformation. Well, you know what? An opinion might be wrong, but it's not misinformation. I'm sorry. You can't just blanket ban people from social media because they get something wrong, because they tell somebody something that's not true. That's not how the First Amendment works. We have freedom of speech in this country, and the government, Joe Biden's administration in particular, who was sued twice over this, and they're still doing it, getting people banned outright from social media, that should be a non-starter for the next administration. And guess who was attached onto that? Kamala Harris, as a matter of fact. So she has her name on that. So if you want more censorship, yeah, go ahead and vote for Kamala Harris. That's a ridiculous notion. And how about open borders, right? Everything Joe Biden has done, just about. He's got a couple of accomplishments, but everything else is a net negative. It's just terrible. But they refuse to admit this stuff even exists, right? Like talking about the dogs and cats, all right? We went over that. No, there's no credible reports of dogs being eaten, but there are several reports of people's cats coming up missing, and we know that Haitians eat cats as a delicacy. Put two and two together. Once again, the police in the town say they haven't seen any reports. Now, we do have video evidence of ducks and geese being killed in parks. Yeah, we know that's happening. So you can't deny that. Trump got that wrong, sure. It's not dogs and cats. But it is ducks and geese, which is just as bad, right? Like these people are going into parks and taking animals, right? This is normal for them. That's another thing. I don't see why these people are getting so upset by this. Yes, eating meat, that's what humans do, right? Because We get all of our food processed at a manufacturing plant. They think it's bad to go out and kill a duck or a geese and take it home, clean it up, and eat it. It's actually a lot more healthy than those damn chicken nuggets you get from McDonald's. It's a lot more healthy. So, you know, could they go about it in a different way? Sure. Don't do it so blatantly. Go out into the woods and kill a duck or a geese, right? Don't go into a park and do it. That's the only problem I have. But to deny that these criminal aliens aren't destroying cities and destroying communities and upsetting the natural order of things in this country is absurd. It's insane. These people are liars, and they deserve to be rebutted in the worst possible means. They have a right to say it, of course. But we need rebuttals. And the corporate press, none of these people are actually willing to fact check this stuff. They just want to propagate the narrative, and it's garbage, and it turns the tide of the election. And it's terrible to see what the Biden administration has done to this country. Once again, I say it all the time. All you got to do is look through my video archive, and you will see what the Biden administration has done. And I will tell you right off, ignore my opinions, but just listen to the videos, listen to the articles that I'm reading out, and form your own opinion around that. Don't take my word for it. Take your own word for it. But getting back to, who we should have running this country, right? You get Trump supporters. They're willing to admit, yes, Trump did some bad stuff that he shouldn't have done. He hired some dumb people, and he shouldn't have spent this much money, blah, 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 blah. But you will never get these people on the left, Democrats, progressives, and all them people admitting that the Biden administration has done anything bad at all. And they have been doing nothing but bad stuff. Once again, open borders, silencing voices on social media, conducting proxy wars all over the damn place. It's insane what they're doing to this country. That there's a litany of other things that I'm not going to get into. But once again, I cover these all the damn time. From climate agenda, to foreign policy, to domestic policy, to inflation, to everything. It's crazy what they've done to this country. And if you can't see that with your own eyes, you need to wake up. Maybe pay a little bit more attention to politics and get in there, because we can't have another 4 years of the last 4 years. It's not going to be good for the country. I mean, we've already got banks failing all over the place. The economy is in the dirt, and they're still trying to say the economy is good, right? The job numbers, they lied by 1 million jobs about how many jobs they created. And then these people want to get out there and tout, 800,000 freaking jobs. Yeah, they lied about 1 million jobs. 1 million. It's insane what they're doing. It's insane, the weaponization. Everything is insane what this administration has done. And once again, like I said, I'm willing to admit Trump has his flaws. But if you're not willing to open up and see the other side, it has much worse flaws. The establishment is not good for this country. What has been going on for the past 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. Yeah, we need change, and you're not going to get that with Kamala Harris. And you'll get some of it with Donald Trump. Once again, we've already seen what Donald Trump can do versus what the Biden administration can do. And I think we can all admit that things were much better under Donald Trump, and they will be once again. Once again, he will make America great again, I think, in my opinion, at least from what I can see. But once again, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Who do you think won the debate? I don't think anybody won, personally. I think it was just kind of a garbage debate. They really didn't discuss policy hardly at all. Like, we still have no idea how Kamala Harris is going to build out the economy from the middle out. Like, how? Like, what? We know she's going to bring joy to Democrats, and she's going to be a president for everybody, every Democrat. They don't care about us, and we can't have a president that doesn't care about America. I'm sorry, but I can't advocate for that at all, as much as I would like to. But once again, y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.
$100 bill, they don't want me packing steel when I get in their grill. I make a meal, so they tell me stop rapping. I'm verbally slapping when my words get to clapping. That's how it happens when you mess with a doctor. I prescribe you something that'll break you off proper. Look, you don't want it with me, I blues your crew. You know who I am, but who the fuck is you? I know what to do.